everyone. Welcome to another episode of Dropped Frames. Zeke's somewhere in a desert right now. We don't know if he's alive. Literally, we don't know if he's alive. He told us that he was.
Fine.
He told us he was going to be in one of those. They have like a fighting ring there where you can just enter and fight. And he said he was going to challenge people in there. So I don't know. He's at Burning Man. He'll be back
He's
next
a veteran.
week. Yeah.
Warrior.
How long does that?
He'll be back next week, or he won't. We don't know. But in his place, we've brought Better Jericho around. Who's dropped? He's changed. He's a new man. He's no longer that COD life. He's
Yeah, I evolved. I dropped all the eyes. It took 9 long years, but I finally have the grown-up username. Jericho.
How long did that take to change all your branding and everything? Was that just a clusterfuck, or was it not that bad?
I mean, you forget places and you forget links. What I wasn't prepared for is when you change your Twitch name, your sub URLs and stuff don't change. So my sub URL is the old URL. So I changed everything, and people are like, I can't sub to you. So I had to. I don't know.
So
what I'm getting at here is it's not well put together back there.
Yeah, what happens when you hit subscribe on your channel now? Does it?
No, it's normal, but it links to like whatever the sublink /II Jericho. Yeah.
Okay.
Same old stuff.
That makes sense.
Of course, of course.
Yeah, that's classic Twitch right there. Also joining us later in the show will be Ziggy D Live. We'll be talking about some Path of Exile stuff that's happening on Friday. He'll probably join us for the last hour of the show. So for now, you got another hour and 45 minutes of us just incoherently rambling. It's going to be great. We're also going to see, so far we're about 2 minutes in and Co hasn't mentioned that game yet. So we're doing pretty good. I'm keeping a clock and a timer here to make sure that, okay. See, even he's unaware. This is a good joke, Co, but we all know you want to talk about Cyberpunk, okay? We all know you're bursting at the seams. You're not? Everyone in my chat was just freaking out like Co lost his shit when he was watching that Cyberpunk. You're not?
What is this game?
Okay. See, now he's doing a reverse. Anyways, we'll talk about it. We'll probably watch it.
I'm a good vibes guy. I don't like punks.
Yeah, he doesn't like the punks. But before we get all to that, we didn't show last week. So I want to talk about, it's a little late news, but I still want to talk about it because I think it's pretty impactful. The Twitch Prime stuff where they're removing ads for Twitch Prime users. I think it's kind of like, I was expecting a bigger thing than it was. I think I was expecting like an uproar. It was like a day and then people moved on. I think people just kind of accepted it.
Are we talking about that now?
Yeah, we'll start the show with it and then we'll go into games.
I just think what people realize that it's, I mean, God, there's a lot of like weird misinformation going on there. I just feel like the people that were upset with it weren't grasping that you still don't see ads on the stream that you use your Prime sub for, just like a normal sub if the streamer has it enabled. They thought, well, fuck, I get ads and I subbed and I paid for it, you know, versus just the site-wide ones, which I can't remember last time I went to the homepage on Twitch, so that doesn't really affect me at all.
Mm-hmm.
I also pay for Turbo, so I'm,
yeah, I think the other thing too is people are just like, well, I guess I'll just turn ad block on and go about my day. Like,
also, I think a lot of the people that have been on Twitch for years, kind of like we were already kind of accustomed to this because the premise was always that you sub to a channel to not only support that caster but not see ads on that channel. So then that's always how it happens. But then you could sub to Twitch, and if you sub to Twitch as a whole, then you don't get ads anywhere. And that's what Twitch Turbo was. Twitch Turbo was essentially subbing to Twitch. And then when Twitch Prime came out, I think I speak for a lot of us when I was pretty surprised when they moved the no ad stuff to Twitch Prime. I was kind of like, okay, that's kind of like, that's okay, whatever you guys want. So to be honest, I'm not super surprised that here we are a few years later and they're like, we have made a huge mistake.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't even know if it was a mistake so much as it was a really smart way to onboard everyone. Like, I don't, you know what I mean? It probably wasn't that big of a mistake because it's not, it's like there's no real intrinsic value to the ads that aren't being seen, right? Like they're not being paid for. So it's not, Twitch isn't really losing money here. It's just, or the advertisers aren't really not serving their ads. It's just, I feel like they onloaded everyone and they got everybody addicted to the feature. And then they just incentivize Turbo now. Although I do still think that, what is it, $9 a month?
$8.99 for Turbo. Yeah.
Is it the same price for the Europeans? Because don't they have like VAT?
Ooh, I don't know. It might be.
Oh, the tax and stuff. That's a good question.
Yeah, because if that's like $10, like shit, that's more than Netflix, right? Or is Netflix? I don't know. Either way, that's a lot of money. I feel like they could drop it down to $5, and that would be, they'd make more than enough on that. But
yeah.
And it's like someone just brought up a good question. Turbo is worth almost 2 subs. Why should I buy Turbo? Well, here's the thing. If you're not someone that frequents a bunch of channels on Twitch and you're not subbed to those channels, then Twitch Prime makes a lot of sense, because then you get for the price of like what you would pay for 2 subs. Then if you go to a whole bunch of different channels, then you wouldn't be paying for, you'd be paying basically the same amount as a bunch of different subs. But at the same time, if you only frequent a couple channels, then you can just sub to them and just completely ignore Twitch Prime. Or better yet, if you only hang around like one channel primarily, just Twitch Prime sub to that channel, and you don't have to worry about Prime or Turbo.
Right.
So yeah. Or you can just use ad block. So you do you.
Yeah.
Yeah. I also, from incredibly I understand how detrimental this idea is, but from a content creator, Twitch added in the dashboard, I don't know if you guys see underneath the run ads button that you probably never use, it says like content creators that have X concurrent views, whatever you're at, they ballpark it and they say, make on average like whatever amount. So for me, it usually says like on average makes like $22 an hour if they run 2 minutes of ads every hour or 3 minutes of ads every hour. And I tried to think about it. I was like, I don't think I can remember the last time where I ran an ad, a mid-roll on Twitch. I run 3-minute ads usually at the end of the stream because everybody's leaving. But like if you use ad blocker, the cost or the value that I'm losing is pretty inconsequential. It's like 1 sub. Just one more person subscribe and I make up for not running ads. And you're going to lose a lot more viewers if you run ads in the middle of your broadcast.
Yeah.
For
ads are a weird thing. Like, I think, as I'm losing my voice, there was I'm trying to find the article link. But basically, Emmett, the CEO of Twitch, was out there in like a biz journal or something like that, and basically said they wanted to, and I want to get the number right, but here it is. They want it, they set a goal to more than double the advertising revenue to $1 billion. They didn't state if that was over year or like what that is. This is a Bloomberg article that
was their total their total year gross, right? They wanted to hit a billion.
Yeah,
Just double last year.
I think so. I'm trying to find the exact quote here on my phone.
While you look for that, what an absurdly crazy thing to say. Like, I think we're just gonna double our revenue this year.
Yeah. So here's the quote. It says, at a recent staff meeting, Twitch CEO Emmett Shear set a target of $1 billion in ad sales for Twitch, according to 3 people present. That's more than double its current sales. Twitch's key advantage being live is the popularity, blah 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 blah. And then of course they mentioned Ninja, which I think is funny. But yeah, like that's a lot. And so I think that this is probably a an absolute direct reasoning for what they're doing with Twitch Prime. The fact that they're looking to double it.
That's Amazon coming in heavy-handed, not Twitch saying like, well, let's just do this because we want to, kind of thing. That's Amazon's influence now.
I mean, I think we kind of just we skirted around a little bit. Like, broadcasters, for the most part, don't run ads when you get into kind of the bigger viewership numbers. It alienates viewers. It is a great way to, like you said, in the middle of a broadcast, drop a large percentage of your viewership just because they don't want to see that shit. They want to see, like live, nonstop gameplay. So I think Twitch is kind of in a tough spot when it comes to that stuff. When it comes to ad sales and ads on Twitch, just because for the past several years, all of its broadcasters have trained their entire audiences to just not expect ads for the most part.
Is that not, and like, I get that the whole point or a big point of the ads is to run it to incentivize subscriptions. Like, oh, hey, I don't want this ad, so let me pay for the subscription. Like, that's an angle you could take. But I mean, is that like our fault for conditioning people not to want the ads?
No,
like I don't want the
not
ads.
at all.
Well,
So I'm like, are
and
we to blame you?
It's a way to grow your stream in the sense of I don't run ads, so you could just chill
Right.
here and you'll never get them, right? Like it's
and
it's a
not only that though, that's a risk. That's your if you were to do that with a viewer, you're basically saying, okay, I'm going to make you choose. Do you want to give me money? Am I that good, or are you going to watch this ad? You know what I mean? Like at that point, they have to decide that your content is worth anything if they're not a sub.
totally.
Over the time that it takes for an ad. Dude, I've been saying it for years. I would use ads if they let us use opt-in ads. Like imagine being able to click a checkbox under the run ads thing that said opt-in. And then what would happen is when you run your ads, a little button would pop up on the overlay and it would say, this broadcaster has chose to run ads. Would you like to support him by opting in? Click here. And if you don't click that button, you don't get ads. If you want to help support the caster, click the button. Think how many more millions of ads per month would get seen if they were to do something like that. I'd start running ads every hour.
Yeah,
throw a 3-minute opt-in block up there.
Yeah.
Sure, if you want to help support the channel, do it.
Who's gonna opt in?
yeah, that's the thing.
Who's going to opt in? The exact same people that put your channel on whitelist when you run your ads at the end of the stream. The
Yeah,
same
but-
people who take a break anyway and want an excuse to do that. So that's a great time
Here's
to do
where I
it.
think you're wrong.
Like,
you're
Think
relying
smaller
on
casters too.
you're relying on the good faith of people.
I'm just saying it's more than zero. I'm saying a
Totally.
system like that
It is more than
would be
zero. So
exponentially more than zero. And more importantly, a channel like me would start
Exponentially
considering to
more
run
than zero.
ads. So I mean, like, you know, I think that would work out pretty well. I think I could, like, if they had a system like that, I'd put it on auto 3-minute block every hour. And then it's like, great, you don't want to watch ads, you never have to. But if you want to take a break, if you got to use the bathroom, think of this. Think if users could trigger their own ad block on your channel. Hey, I'm going to take an AFK to the bathroom. I'm going to run 3 minutes ads and just run off and go use the bathroom.
Yeah.
Or, hey, I'm going to go grab some food. Let me run a 3-minute ad block on Co's channel while I'm AFK. Now, granted, that would be heavily exploitable.
That's inherently like what they want to avoid here. Advertisers don't want to have people running ads.
Of course, but they wouldn't know where the viewer's going. You always have to assume as an advertiser that if an ad's running, the viewer's there. That's like a whole different level of monitoring. But I'm just saying, like, more options. Like we should. It needs to be more than just let us stop our content and show these ads. Like, let's let users choose. Let them decide. Let them thread them into their own flow instead of just like dropping bombs on them every 2 hours, hour, whatever Twitch wants us to do.
I agree it's a good idea, but I think if you take that into like a business meeting for like an ad sales team, you'd get laughed out of the room. Like I don't ever see that working. Like I think a business person looks at that and they're just like, anyways, those crazy content creators. Like,
it's definitely a little too rosy cheeks and like it's too good for the consumer. All right, we can't have that.
Exactly. I think that's what it is. Yeah, because like I would love everything you just said, Co. But at the end of the day, we're on the internet, so like I don't. Maybe a large portion of your community
play video games and then playing ads between that, right? I mean, we're already kind of ridiculous territory if you think about it. So just saying, and you got to remember, they're going from zero. They're going from big casters just not running ads.
I agree.
So anything is better than that.
You know what I would like to see then? If here's a thought: they roll into Twitch Turbo, they make it, the same amount, but they turn it into a YouTube Red like feature. Not the way YouTube Red currently is. You buy it, and then everyone who has YouTube Red, all of the videos and watch time that they watch are thrown into a pot and then divvied up. All that money is divvied up between the content creators. Versus if you bought Turbo, then they should on Twitch they could do something similar where the content creators that you watch, if you watch 2 content creators, your portion of that is split equally between the 2. Not spread across the whole site. So that means if you're watching 4 or 5 content creators, but you can't sub to each one, but you also don't want ads on everyone, there's like a best of both worlds where Twitch still gets a large cut and all the broadcasters get supported more than ads, but you don't have to see ads.
Yeah,
it's kind of like the middleman versus I watch a lot of streams or I only watch one.
Now, in order to get access to that pool of YouTube Red money, do you just have to be a partnered YouTube streamer? Like what?
Yeah, you have to have, your channel has to have monetization on. Like that's just to get paid. So you'd have to be an affiliate on Twitch.
Okay, that makes sense. Yeah, I think that's kind of the other hurdle too is you look at everyone in this space. You look at YouTube, where I think Twitch and YouTube compared to like the ad sales of one another, YouTube's in another fucking ballpark. Like YouTube's like probably one or the best, if not one of the best, when it comes to ad sales on the internet in terms of like an advertising platform. So I think you're just going to try to and see Twitch match that. But I kind of feel like every streaming platform will eventually run into this one day, right? Like it's the baseline to make money on a platform on the internet is by selling ads.
It is.
And so that's the weird thing when people are like, well, I'll just wait till another streaming platform comes up. It's like, no, you idiot. Like everyone's going to do this one way or the other. Like, Mixer is going to do this. Facebook's going to fucking any streaming platform will run ads. It's just the way of the road.
I feel like everybody kind of forgets the other 95% of Prime when we talk about Prime on Twitch. Everybody just associates the value of having Amazon Prime to their subscription and what it gets you on Twitch, right? But like, I paid for Prime since I had a credit card because the 2-day shipping, especially living in LA where everything's 2-day shipping, or I can get same-day shipping for free on some items. Like that is worth, I think at the end of every year, it shows you like how much you saved just by using Prime. I saved like several $100s on shipping costs. So like it matters to me outside of that box, but Amazon just sucks at promoting all of that. So
yeah. I agree. The other thing too is a lot of people that are using Twitch Prime, maybe not necessarily the vocal people that are using it, are just kids that are using their parents' account.
I just thought about that.
Yeah. So they don't really care about.
I don't give a shit about free shipping.
Right. I will say the one thing that did irk me a little bit about this blog they put out is this whole this statement right here. Advertising is an important source of income for the creators who make Twitch possible. The changes will strengthen and expand the advertising opportunity for creators so that they can get more support for their viewers doing what they love. We want Twitch to remain a place where anyone can enjoy one-of-a-kind interactive entertainment, and ads allowed to continue making Twitch the best place for creators, build communities around the things they love, and make money doing it. That didn't need to be there.
I hate the for creators.
Yeah, like fucking don't put that shit on us. What the fuck? This is your decision. We have nothing to do with this.
It's kind of important that we should never be the purpose of something like this when it is 100% to make Twitch more money.
Yeah.
There's really nothing about this that's going to help creators at all. So to try to sell it to the community that it's like, oh, we're doing this to help creators. It's kind of like
hurt creators.
Do you think anyone's paying attention?
Yeah.
Do you guys think I'd love to see this? So what is it? October is when the last month goes. I would love to see a couple creators pull together and just kind of chart the amount of Prime subs that they have and see if that number goes down a little, a lot, or at all. Because I'm definitely sure that there's people out there that just aren't going to renew their Prime or their Prime subscription solely based on these changes.
I think a good way to do that is if you just jot down Ninja's sub count each day. Just tune into a stream and watch a sub count. Like why not go for the biggest? It's public, so just fucking go right.
Or a Prime tracker right there is Ninja's sub count.
Yeah, that's just hilarious. Go pay attention to it. As long as there's no more Twitch Prime Fortnite opportunities or whatever. Like
that's an Overwatch now.
Yeah, it's an Overwatch now. Which yesterday Siegel was at like 100K or whatever.
Over 100,000 new subs. This man, he was making it.
Good for him.
Yeah.
But yeah, I guess just see what happens with that stuff. It's this whole year is just going to be. We always say this, but the future of this whole platform is always so interesting to see what happens.
Every year is a fun, interesting year. Every year.
Yeah.
Especially the last few.
Oh yeah.
I was going to say, I haven't been to the Overwatch directory in a long time because I don't normally watch Overwatch. I just went in there and I just have to say how amazingly cool it is that under the streamer name, it says what hero they're playing.
Let's see.
There's a couple games that have that integration.
There's a lot.
Counter-Strike has your rank or your rank on there. It's cool.
Yeah,
but it makes really sense, right? And you can filter, right? You can filter by hero up at the top too. So if you want to watch down, left. Yep. So if you want to watch Genji only, you just check it out. And I love that. It's what every directory should have, but only a few do.
Yeah. Well, it's hard. You'd have to. I don't know how they would apply that to all games, but yeah, well, multiplayer games you definitely could. But
All they'd have to do, man, is open up the API and then leave it to the duty of the creators.
sure.
You see this the stuff creators can do, and I mean devs right now, not us, but like what Dead Cells has done, like holy shit, man, complete next level. Like I bet if Dead Cells had access to the API, they could easily put whatever map the person's playing on under the title, and then even cooler under that if Twitch integration is turned on or not. So you could like go to the Dead Cells directory and be like, who do I want to mess with? Oh, this guy's got it on, and then you could like drop into there and like do the interaction stuff.
Yeah.
Oh man,
Here's
hopefully open that up.
Have you seen this yet? If you go to the Overwatch League page, their info section is unbelievably godlike compared to everyone else's.
You know why? Gave them HTML. They had to have.
They had to.
Look at that.
Also, this is a really weird thing. You can cheer, and this happens a lot. This is probably more but you can cheer each individual team, and then they have a leaderboard of all the teams. So these are like,
all right, bit cheers, right? Yeah.
Yeah. Bit cheering to like Dallas Fuel.
Yo,
which,
somebody get Bob in my channel real quick.
yeah,
Jesus.
yeah, and yeah, like this, like Bob 7D. You know, he's cheered.
I need Bob 7D in my channel.
He's cheered. What is that? 40 or 4,000? $200. Yeah, about $5,000.
And I'm pretty sure that gets divided up, kind of like they did with the what was it, Street Fighter or whatever, where you could
Evo.
cheer for
A couple years ago.
Yeah, Evo.
Yeah.
One of the coolest fucking things, and they still don't have the ability to do that in something like dropped frames or whatever. I love it.
Yeah, I really wish they push that, but like, you know, it's the Twitch way. Launch a thing and then just forget about it. You know, just move on to the next.
Now, maybe what would be cool is they have that hashtag system that they're apparently like starting to implement. They have the idea thing open on that. God, what's that website?
Yeah.
Trello. Yes, thank you. So maybe, I mean, that would be cool. Imagine where we're seeing the characters in Overwatch, if that's where we could put our hashtags. So then people could search for that kind of stuff. You click on a hashtag, it goes to a search of that hashtag on all of Twitch. Like, I mean, we could see the foundation of that system potentially in action, and that would be very cool.
Yeah, I agree. TwitchCon's later this year, so I hope they do some cool stuff there.
Yep.
It's gotten to the point where I don't know what Twitch could do, and it's literally just like, what are they going to do in terms of like changing the site? Because I feel like, I guess cumulative subs is probably the number one thing that most creators are asking for, but my understanding is that like
I'm not going to do that.
Yeah, like at a core level, they'd have to change a bunch of shit, so it's just not possible right now.
Not only that, they want people to feel pressured, because that encourages sub stuff. They want people. They don't want people to think like, oh, I just won't spend $5 this month and spend it next month. They want people to be like, wait, no, I need to get and I need to resub to this guy with my Prime sub, or I'm going to lose my streak. Like that little bit of pressure, probably worth a lot of money to Twitch.
Yeah, for sure.
Unfortunately. But,
it's just how it is. Yeah, we'll see what happens at TwitchCon. So.
I think they should track both.
I do too. Yeah.
I think they should call it a streak for that many in a row, and they should have a lifetime directly after that. Lifetime in parentheses with the total number of months subbed.
And then it gets into the way of like, how many fucking icons can you have before your name, right? Like,
not even icons, just
7.
Exactly how it is. And
yeah.
Just put that in parentheses after any sub amount. At least then you could see it. It'd be right there. Let us pull it out with the API so we can use it in our custom stuff.
Yeah, that'd be good.
Be awesome.
Just in the text itself, you're saying when they resub? Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, I'd be fine. I mean, I don't. Yeah, I'm under the impression that it's going to fall into the same category as the info panels. It's just too much work and not enough value, so they're just not going to fix it or change it. Right
God,
now.
the info panels are just a disaster right now.
Every time they do one of those creator like, hey, content creators, what do you want us to do? I just pull up my tweets from like 2014 that are like, can you fucking fix this? And I'm like, hey guys, still here.
Yeah,
really need this fix.
God.
I had to put a top panel on for the 2 Point Hospital sponsored stream that I did a few days ago. It took me legit 10 minutes first to get the panel thing loading properly, then to actually get it to save in the thing, and then 3 times I had to drag it up where you like drag it up and wait for it to slot, and then drag it up and wait for it to slot. 3 times I did that and it would not save properly. And then finally when it worked, I quit it and then it reloaded the page and the image was missing that I put on.
I can't even
send the top.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can't like it's insane. Like you can't. There's no numbers. There's no ordering. There's no. Oh my god, it's so
real
frustrating.
bad. It's real bad.
I just give me a giant HTML box.
Dude,
all right,
totally.
MySpace let me do this. What the fuck? Okay, like let me put auto playing music and a giant bikini babe back there or something. We're going back to 2007.
Yeah, I'm with you there. I'm with you there. Anyways, that's all. I don't think Twitch has done anything else in terms of site stuff. I've been playing a lot of WoW, so everything else is kind of just like it's over there. And
The only big thing that I know is they announced that they were getting rid of the pulse feed and all that stuff, specifically to
I remember
rework
that.
home, which fine, whatever.
Which is fine. Yeah.
I don't care.
I'm just scrolling through their Twitter real quick to see if there was anything. I don't think there was. TwitchCon stuff, but that's about it.
All right.
Cool. So that's what's going on with all that stuff. I guess we can just kind of keep up with the news and we'll jump into games. You guys want to talk Cyberpunk for a little while? I don't know how much we can really add to the discussion, but we could at least say, man, that game looks great, and then move on.
To be honest, it's funny that people thought that I was going to have a lot to talk about because you just basically summed up my entire thing about it. It's like we all got to see Cyberpunk. It's sex in video game form. Cool. It's going to be great when it comes out. All right. What's the next game?
We can talk about the fact that there are a lot of people that were upset. I don't know if it was just on Reddit, but in general that, the game took place in a place that had day-night cycles and wasn't just nighttime 24/7, like neglecting the Cyberpunk is only at night kind of crew. I was kind of surprised because I had never seen this demo at the shooting mechanics and stuff. Like I knew it was a shooter at its core, but I was pleasantly surprised at how good it looked. I come from FPS background, so that's glaringly apparent when it's not done well, and it can really suck if the game's not, snappy and smooth.
Yeah.
So I was pretty happy about that, and 48 minutes, man. They spoiled us, huh?
Yeah, I think there was at the very end of the I can't even call this a trailer. At the very end of the gameplay video they put out, there's kind of a hidden message that said that they'd struggled with putting this out on a day-to-day basis, and basically what tipped them over the edge was that the feedback from E3 was so good from people that had seen it that they kind of put their trust in them to put it out there, because that's really cool that they did. I also like that they also said in that statement that like what you're seeing is an actual work in progress. Like some of the systems that you saw in this video don't exist anymore. So I hope people kind of took that to heart. I kind of wish they put that out there more than it was already stated in the video, because I don't want like the Division all over again, right? Where people fucking like go pixel by pixel, frame by frame to like compare the two things when this actually ships.
That actually happened to CDPR with Witcher 3 early footage too, which is one of the reasons they were really worried about it with this one. Yeah, there was some stuff in some early Witcher 3 footage that didn't make it into the game, and they got a lot of flack for it in some cases.
Yeah.
So,
yeah, it is what it is.
Yeah, I one thing. So obviously it's an RPG. One thing that I get kind of not worried about, but there's always this like weird line when people try and do too many like games converging, whether it's like an RPG and a shooter, and where I'm worried that if you're gonna call it an RPG, I want everything that I do, whether it's my shoes, my gloves, my hair, I want everything to affect combat in a way that I'm fundamentally playing the game differently from somebody who's spec'd differently. I don't want to kind of play the same game, you know what I mean? Go through the same motions and not have as many routes to take if I want to play, replay the story and do it 100% stealth or 100% run and gun, or maybe, I just want my gameplay to vary enough. And they only really talked about it with the jacket and the implants. So we'll have to see what kind of accessories you can put on there, but
totally. Yeah. I would think they're probably going to try to adhere as close to the Cyberpunk fandom that's already out there from so many years ago, but I haven't played that, so I don't know how deep that goes. I would imagine pretty deep because it's a tabletop RPG. So
yeah,
those are usually pretty crazy. I was trying to like think exactly what this reminded me of, and so I thought back to all the games that are kind of in this ilk. It was less Rage to me and more Fallout, and that kind, like, for some people, that's great. For some people, me, I'm not sure how I feel about that. I didn't expect it to be more like ragey in the sense of like actiony, I guess is how I'll put it. But I hope that I don't know. I hope that there's more of a balance between that and less Fallout, just for my own purposes. That's only for my own purposes.
Real quick, can you go into that a little bit? Like, what do you mean exactly when you say more rage? Like, do you want like more kind of humor and casualness of rage?
I'm speaking
Like,
purely to like the second to second gunplay, right? Like the actual action of the game has nothing to do with the humor or the storytelling or anything like that. But just kind of, I don't know, when you start like sliding around in slow mo time and stuff like that, it took me out of like, oh, this is a FPS and like this is and I don't want to use those terms because people will get fucking crazy about it. But it's like, oh, this is less of an FPS and more of like a whatever you'll call Fallout. I don't know what term you want to put to that, but I don't want to anger the crowd.
I get what you're saying.
To be fair, you shoot guns in first person in this game.
Sure.
It is an FPS.
Yeah.
even if there's a lot of RPG elements and stuff, and you can play it differently.
Yeah.
You can play this game as an FPS if you want to.
Yeah.
But no, that like I gotta say it. I see where you're going with that, and I completely see why you'd say that. The thing, it's funny though, because like I knew that this was going to be immersive, but I was blown away how immersive it was. And that in tune with the gunplay, like I was worried the gunplay was going to be kind of floaty, where you don't really feel attached to your character. But man, it looked solid. I mean, it looked real solid.
Yeah.
I was very surprised by that. It was pretty awesome.
Totally. Yeah. And I think apart from all that, we can all kind of agree like the world building that's been done in this 48 minutes is fucking crazy. Like at E3, when everyone saw that demo, everyone talked about the second that you walk out onto the street. I'll try to pull it up here. And
there were so many people. That was the first time I've seen a city, and I was like, "Oh man, this is a city, huh? This is not like 3 cars and a guy standing on the corner."
Totally, yeah. They were like, "Oh, this is a fucking amazing moment for video game." Like they hyped it up to crazy levels, and like when they walked out onto the street and I saw it for the first time, it was definitely like, "Oh shit!" Like,
and the thing that's crazy, you look at that pan that just happened in the video. Like almost everything we see in here is explorable. Like you can just go wherever you want. They've built this city. That's the part that just keeps blowing me away. Like that. Oh my god, man.
Yeah.
Woo!
Yeah.
Oh,
It's
trying to get the hype vapors. Oh lord.
I was all right. How about we talk about? I was a little bit worried about the pacing. So when you have a shooter, especially in like high intensity situations, you tend to run and gun through the areas and not take your time to appreciate it just by the fact or by nature of the fact that you're just trying to get through the dangerous parts to get to the safe parts. So I like the fact that they had the slower, boss fights with, whatever you said, Fallout type slowdown stuff. But I was worried about the pacing that it took for us to get from point A to point B, particularly in this, this area here. There was a lot of talking and showing and passive viewing here, which I'll sit by it because I like it, but also it just I don't want the game to be majority like this. I don't want them to pad the 40-hour story with 15 hours of car rides.
Yeah. Yeah, I get what you're saying for sure. I think they're going to though.
I was gonna say like that's kind of what RPGs are about in a lot of ways. Is like the immersion of the in between action components and all that kind of stuff. Yeah. I don't know. I it's kind of weird because when you say that, I'm kind of like on the, not the opposite, but like I'm looking forward to those 15 hours of car rides. Like that's what builds the whole rest of the experience is those conversations with characters like this and kind of working your way through the dialogue and stuff. But with your background, I completely understand. Like it would be kind of interesting if they kind of catered to both, to where you could walk up to a car and instead of getting in it, you could like get the essentials and just go to the next action section.
No. I don't want to. I enjoyed this part. I'm saying that there was this is fine. I was talking about the walk speed is really, really slow. I don't know if they were purposely walking as slow as possible.
They might have been RP walking. I was actually wondering that too.
All right. So that's what I meant by pacing, not necessarily the man, I can't wait to go shoot the bad guys in the next area here. It was just whether it was the walking or how long it took them to drive the car from. It was like 150 meters away to get to this point. It was like a 3-minute drive. I was like, what? That's what I was talking about.
So hopefully, like
if you-
good
if they-
fast travel systems and things to keep the pace up.
right, or at least give me the option to not lazily drive through the entire city to get from point A to point B if it's not critical to the story.
I want to know if you can
yeah,
hit
if
that
they've-
guy right there, by the way.
So out of curiosity, did that kind of stuff bug you in like GTA and those types of games too?
Yes and no. Like it did if it was a particularly long mission. Like I remember there's one where you had to go all the way up to the top of the map to hang out with Trevor, and that was like a solid 5.5 minute drive where you had some like really shitty dialogue, I believe, or like really mindless banter, and it just got old after a while. So if you write it well and you have interesting moments that can break up that dialogue, then great, wonderful. But I mean, that's easier said than done. Now it is CD Projekt Red, and you got The Witcher 3, so there's obviously some background there. They're pretty good at what they do, so I'm not as worried as I would be if it was a Rockstar. But
yeah.
Good stuff.
We'll just have to see. I think it did a great job, like getting this out there, showing everyone kind of what the game is, and then I hope they just don't say anything else for like another year or so, and just continue like chipping away at the game.
Yeah.
Do you guys think we get this in 2019? Do you think this is a 2020 release? Like, where do you think this actually comes out when we actually have this in our hands?
U3
2024.
Oh, you think 2020?
The game is playable from beginning to end at this point.
Right.
They said in an interview a few weeks ago that it was a big milestone for the team, and even though the game is not complete, you can do a beginning to end run in the game in the current stage it's in. So
Wow.
I would hope that another year, 2 years would be enough. If it's not, hey, that's cool. But I got to say this: the fact that they're releasing stuff like this, if they don't capitalize on the amount of hype that they're generating for this product, doesn't matter how good something is, you will run out of hype steam eventually.
That's true.
If you try to like carrot on a stick that through like 4 or 5 years. So I mean, of course, I'm not saying rush it, but I'm hoping for an optimistic 2020.
Yeah.
You think?
I do not think 2019.
All right. So I mean, I'm hoping for a Q4 2019.
That's what I would say.
That'd be ideal. But I think this was so much gameplay footage. I thought we were gonna get a 10-minute demo or something like that. 48 minutes is a chunk of the game. However big or small, it's still a chunk. Maybe we see E3 stuff. If we're gonna get any announcement or any more stuff, it's gonna wait till E3 next year. Like, there's no other place they would bother doing it unless it was like, surprise, here's a Christmas 3-minute little gameplay teaser thing.
Yeah. Maybe like at the game. I keep wanting to say the Game Trailers Awards, the Game Awards, whatever Jeff Keighley's
Video
thing's
Game
called.
Awards,
Video Game
VGAs.
Awards. Yeah. You might see a little bit more of this, but at this point, like, I feel like they've kind of shown me everything that I would care to see. Like, I'm on board. I think most people can kind of make that decision from this video, and go from there in terms of like the right to purchase. But yeah, I'm thinking 2019 Q4. I'm hopeful for a 2019 Q4.
It'd be great for like a holiday release or something.
Totally.
Like, that'd be awesome.
Yeah, exactly.
so
I
cool.
really
But
need.
what's kind of funny is, and I'm actually with you on this, JP. I kind of hope like they show almost nothing before the next huge reveal, because it's almost like I think 48 minutes of content at the quality that they showed it, like, you could have told me that when this was over that was a finished game. You could have been like, oh, and by the way, you can go buy this game now. Like, it was like a vertical slice, essentially, which is much more beyond, like, that was it. So the fact that we're all sold, like, we've crossed that line. We are now sold. Like, this is the time for me to put my blinders on. Like, okay, I'm sold. Like, nothing else until release. I want to stream all of this. I want to see all the new stuff live. Like, just wake me when it's released. I don't need to see anything else before I play this game. And it could be years.
Yeah, neither do I.
I'm trying to think, like, what does this go up against if it comes out next year in Q4? Is there any stuff announced for like what's releasing or any?
Well, Red Dead's now. Or Red Dead's this year.
This year.
So that's like the biggest competitor in my head.
Last of
right?
Us, maybe?
Like,
Do you think it goes up against Last of Us?
as like a major release maybe for the year, but aren't they kind of, maybe they're not that different, but I don't know.
They're similar in the fact that they're like a super wanted game, right? Like it's a very like
Metro?
prized. Yeah, Metro maybe.
No, that's early next year, right?
Is that Q1 next year? I don't know if they put a release date on that.
This is not a game that needs to be worried about other releases. Other releases need to be worried about this game.
You think?
Right?
You don't think?
Oh,
Yes.
Even
I
compared to
100%
something like The Last
This
of
game
Us.
can release at any date that it wants to, and it's going to eclipse anyone else at that area.
If
Nope.
I don't know, I
would
feel like
agree.
well, unless they
No
do what
question.
you were worried about and they just fuck up the hype and then they let it
That's
run dry.
Sure.
Hopefully, we won't be on a drop frames in a year having that discussion, Jared.
Oh, that would be so sad, man.
Yeah.
This
So
is
we're
like
up to
this
our
game.
7th gameplay trailer this month. I don't even want
You
to play
think
this
they
game anymore. I've seen the whole damn thing.
Here's V brushing her teeth. Just look at those pixels. It's amazing.
Do you think they maybe jumped the gun on doing such a big launch when they could have spread it out, in like 10-minute videos?
No, I think this game had so much hype around itself at E3 and it didn't show a single thing that it's probably fine doing this and then going back into kind of the shadows.
And also, I got to say this. Kudos to whoever sat down and designed this demo. It's obviously scripted, but every portion of the demo covers a different aspect of the game. And if you take the entire 48-minute demo, it shows so much about the game that it's like, I can't imagine them breaking up into 10-minute segments unless each segment focused on a particular mechanic. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like the design of this demo is phenomenal because it covers so many different things so quickly. It goes over mission structure, character creation, general interaction, weapon loadout, how to do your implants, the hacking system, different types of combat, gunplay, characters. You even get to control, like it shows a little robot getting controlled at one point. So many different things go into this demo. So it's like we were talking about earlier. There doesn't really need to be too much more unless they're explicitly showing things that weren't in here, and almost everything was in here. So they really knocked it out of the park with this. I'm so glad they decided to show it publicly.
Yeah.
Because they easily could have ridden this in closed door meetings for another year at least and been fine.
Totally.
That was a great decision.
Someone in the chat brought up Death Stranding. I hope this doesn't I don't think it can at this point, but man, that just reminded me how bummed out I was at E3 watching the latest video of that game.
You were bummed out by that?
Man, him just walking around. Granted that there weren't a lot of mechanics in the game, obviously, and I think they came out and said that.
I'm actually worried Death Stranding may be affected by some of that hype stuff we were talking about.
Yeah, that's what I'm getting at. I was like, dude,
hey man, I'm about it. That just seems like maybe I'm in it for a different core experience here, but since the get-go, I was like, this game, I don't really care what it is. It's going to be interesting regardless of what it is.
Okay.
Right? That's the thing is,
So,
what the fuck is it?
We were just talking about the car rides in Cyberpunk. The Death Stranding trailer was literally a UPS guy.
No,
it was just a UPS guy walking around doing delivery quests.
Of course. So I can't wait to just wander for a little bit, and just take it all in. But it's not because I'm thinking to myself, man, this is going to be a really great story-driven game that I'm super excited. It's fucking weird. And I have no idea what you're going to get out of it or how it's even going to function. So that alone is going to be worth a little bit of hype. But
yeah, I don't know. It's an odd thing. I'm just glad we got to see this footage.
Yeah,
I completely see that where you're
Kojima did some acid and then made a game.
Yeah.
Down and ate the shrooms. We'll be fine. It'll be a good night.
Yeah. Was there any other gaming news that we want to bring up here? It's been 2 weeks, so we have some time to kind of cover.
Some
but I don't.
games to talk about, but not really. I don't know if there's any big news.
Yeah, I'm kind of just scanning this real quick.
Yeah. Anything happen at Gamescom? Besides the fact that I'm never going back because.
Have we done a show since Games? We haven't, I guess.
Gamescom was last weekend, right?
Yeah, I guess we haven't.
We have to send a Drop Frames representative to next year's Gamescom, I think.
We'll just send Zeke. I don't want to go to.
Why would you sacrifice somebody that
We'll
way?
pay for his trip and everything.
Yeah, we'll send. Oh, there was the Sekiro gameplay that came out, which looks great. I don't think we need to show it. It just looks great. That's another game where it's like, all right, you've already convinced me. I'm in. It's Dark Souls ish. It looks cool. Totally about it.
Yeah.
I'll buy that. I'll buy that. Devil May Cry 5 footage was out there. I'm curious, Jericho or Co, you guys big Devil May Cry fans? Have you touched that series at all?
Go ahead, Jericho.
No, I mean, I haven't really sat down and given it the attention it deserves. Obviously, it's a great game, but it's just not, or game series, but it didn't. I don't really care either way.
Yeah, yeah. Co, what about you?
I'm kind of actually in the same boat. I've played one or two of the Devil May Cries over the years, but I don't know if I've ever finished them. I will say Devil May Cry looks good. That'll be the first Devil May Cry since I've kind of been a streamer, so I'm definitely going to be checking it out. May even play some of the previous ones, but it's not like a title that I'm kind of like, yeah, Devil May Cry 5, let's go. You know, it's going to be like, oh, Devil May Cry's out, let's give it a try. You know, like,
Yeah, even the footage for DMC5 looks, and for a lot of DMC fans, this is what they wanted, but it still feels like the games from the DMC 1, 2, and 3 generation. Like I look at that game, I'm like, all right, it looks real pretty, but at the core, this is Devil May Cry from 3 or 4 generations ago, which for a lot of people is great. I was just looking for something maybe a little bit, maybe just a tad bit different, but I'll definitely check it out. Like that stuff's fun. It's just kind of bullshit fun in that sense. What else was out there? Gamescom, like they showed a bunch of stuff, but I wasn't there, and I wasn't like covering it in the sense of just watching at 3 a.m. or whatever when all those trailers went live. So feel free to spam stuff, chat, if there's anything out there that
I mean,
the RTX
Gamescom
on me,
is-
but
the Nvidia.
yeah, that thing was fun. That was fun doing a
You guys-
sponsor stream watching that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah. We'll just leave it
Did
at
you
that.
did you guys get one or order one?
We'll be getting one. Yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah. Which
Yeah,
is
the two TIs.
Must be nice.
Look, don't get me wrong. Like I'm always about new hardware, especially the new graphics cards. But there's definitely moments when Jensen comes out from the CEO, I think CEO of NVIDIA, and he'll just start talking, and I'm like, what are you talking about? Where are we right now? Like,
Do we want to talk about the Nvidia conference a little bit?
I mean, it's kind of the same story that's always been, right? It's like Jensen comes out, he just says a bunch of stuff, and I'm like, how much is it going to cost? Like, but they're like, at the same time, I enjoy watching him because he's an actually smart fucking individual, right? Like everything he's saying is unbelievably smart, but I just don't know. If it's not that, I don't know what you put at that conference. So maybe it's perfect. Maybe what NVIDIA does is perfect.
Dude, it felt like a TED talk.
Right.
Like a good 40 minutes of it was like straight. The thing that about that NVIDIA conference that really kind of threw me for a loop was half of it was for consumers and half of it wasn't. And the part that wasn't for consumers was actual school. Like, this is what we call array. In 1984, Dr. Benderson invented the X-ray. And it's just kind of like, what are we doing? Like you could see the audience the entire time was just like,
Because if they didn't explain
then it showed the front rows where all the devs were, and they were like this.
Yeah, they were just kind of like,
They were loving it.
Okay,
And there were people in my chat that were loving it too. Like if you were interested in that stuff, it was great. But it's like there was this very distinct large portion that was not there for that. They just wanted to know what the cards were, let me see it, and how much is it.
Yeah.
Could have done that in 10 minutes.
I just think that if without giving an in-depth breakdown of what all of that was, it would nobody and they would have just been like, here's a $1,300 graphics card. It does shadows a little better. Everybody would have been like, what the fuck is this?
Yeah. No,
So they had
I'm
to, like,
right there with you,
All they
man.
needed was the graphs. The graphs where it's like, here's the old card that cost this much. Here's the new card that cost this much.
I thought it was great. I thought it was great that they made up their own measurement tool to show you how much better it was than previous cards. Like the fact that they made up their own term to measure it was it's just class. Like that's just fucking awesome. That's just great. I loved every second of that. The other funny thing was I had the stream open because I was restreaming it. But then I had like a stock website up that was actively monitoring the stock as this thing was occurring. And there were points where it would dip down like 1 or 2 points. And then he would say something else that would go back up like half a point. And then would go back up like a full point. And then it would drop back down. And then at the end, like the prices started leaking because the panel was delayed, but the Twitter account had a timed message for the prices of the cards to go out.
The website went live early too.
Yeah, yeah. So the second that stuff went live, again, it kind of like went up and down. And then when he finally said it on the conference, it like went up like 3 or 4 points, and you could see a bunch of people were selling at that point. So it's just fun watching. I want to do that next year for E3. Bring up all of the companies. It'd be great to just have like a little stock.
You should definitely do like a who performed best in our opinion, and then whose stock performed the best. Like, what do the shareholders want from E3?
Yeah.
You know?
It's I've never done that before. Now I'm like, I kind of want to always do that.
Dude, we should just have that as part of the overlay.
Yeah.
A little stock ticker in the top right.
Stock ticker.
Yeah.
I love it.
I don't know who that's for, because it's not. I don't think we have like a lot of stockbrokers watching.
It'd be funny, you know?
Yeah.
It's like, imagine somebody completely tanks a presentation and you get to watch it go down live. That's great.
Yeah.
Hey, this game is going so well. Look at all this awesome gameplay. This is awesome, but we're 2 years behind schedule.
Right. I wonder like how linked or how synced, maybe is a better word, that is to the ups and downs for someone like us as a content creator that watch those E3 conferences and the stock market. Just to see like if in a way, I guess the stock market is probably reacting the way that we would, like a consumer would, I guess, in my infantile representation of what the stock market is.
How much you believe in the company.
Yeah. It's we might do that. That might be kind of a fun thing for next year. We'll have the hype meter, and we'll have the stock market meter. We'll just track both actively, and then we'll get someone live on the stock exchange floor to talk about.
We'll just do let's just do trading live.
Yeah.
Twitch chat trades, you know?
We'll
send somebody down there and they'll live trade during E3.
Yeah. Perfect.
It's some big guy in an itmeJP shirt. He's just like, I'm here live from the New York floor for drop frames.
Oh, good. Yeah, we'll send Zeke. I want Zeke to be that guy, to just grab a random like stockbroker. So EA's trading at blah 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 right now. Are you gonna buy? And the guy just looks at him, shakes his head, and walks off. Or alternatively, we get the Mad Money guy and we just emulate everything that he's doing. That'd be even better. Yeah. We got some plans. Some ideas are brewing already for next year's E3.
Got some big plans in the background.
Yeah, exactly. Let's talk video games for a bit, because we do that from time to time here. Cole, you've been all over the place game wise the past 2 weeks. I'm interested, Jericho. What have you been playing? Because we're gonna get to Co stuff. What have you been playing?
Look, man, I finally hit it. I hit that wall that happens with every game that you play too much. And I've slowly backed off of Fortnite. Now I play like once a week or so, and I fill my other weeks with a lot of Planet Coaster, which is the roller coaster sim game that Roller Coaster Tycoon devs made. Mother Simulator, Ultimate Fishing Simulator, and then House Flipper. I play a lot of really shit sim games now.
Yeah, that's
what I'm
hearing. I've also tuned into your broadcast and seen you browsing Zillow.
Yeah, what happened to me, JP? What happened to me? I'm like,
is this what happens to Fortnite streamers?
Right, I'm just going off the deep end. Yeah, one day I just got a little drunk, and I was like, I'm gonna go look at some of the most expensive houses in every state. So I'm halfway through the U.S. right now. We got a good 6 months left of Zillow content.
All right.
GeoGuessr's pretty up there.
Well, I mean, I guess technically, like those houses, once you're through the U.S., you could just go back and revisit it, right? Because all those houses are probably going to be sold.
And I can do international, JP. We can do high to low. Look at these ostentatious places. Ridiculous $10 million homes in the middle of Alabama. This one was weird. Yeah, I mean, there's some amazing ones. But
is it built on an oil well or something?
I think looks like we're in Michigan or Wisconsin, Minnesota. I don't know. This house had the weirdest photos. Like, what is this photo going to show me? Why are you taking a picture of the gap in your staircase? Like, I don't
know.
I got really irrationally upset about that. $6.5 million, by the way. So yeah, these
are like plantation houses.
Oh, trust me, there were definitely some plantation.
God damn.
Yeah. And this one's for the poverty-stricken 3 million and under club,
Wow, that's like
This isn't. We're in the boonies here. But yeah, there's I'm trying to get
that
a
house
Zillow,
doesn't even have a proper dock.
right? No trees.
Plebs.
Disgusting, honestly. So yeah, I don't know, man. I've finally broken free of the chains of Fortnite, and now I do a bunch of weird streams that nobody else does, I guess.
These are like affiliate level houses right here. Can you get like the
No, please,
partnered?
don't even. You're better than this. That's a mixer house, okay? Affiliate level houses are way better. I don't.
So wait, it goes Mixer, Twitch affiliate.
I mean, yeah.
I like it. I like it.
Oh,
man.
poor Mixer.
This kitchen is hideous, by the way. Don't ever use blue
that's
tile.
disgusting.
This is a $3 million kitchen. Look at this stovetop. Hello? What? You know how mad I'd be if I paid $3 million and that was my stovetop?
I know
Only
there's not
4
nearly enough
burners.
counter space. Oh,
That is kind of a
there's
bad.
really.
They need to replace that stove.
that is pretty terrible. The stove, it looks to not even be gas. I mean, come on, it's the
not.
2000s. And I
One
mean,
of
the
the-
creases in that tile, that's just cleaning, is all that is. It's
Yeah,
cleaning.
see, there you
Look
go.
at these.
Get
Oh.
that.
Look at this. This is $2,500. You're telling me you can't just throw this in there? What the fuck is wrong with you?
Oh
Like,
god.
I get really upset. There's money can't buy you taste, and the amount of like red carpet with pink curtains that I've seen, really, yeah, it's gross, man.
I like it.
But yeah,
This is
I think I'm gonna go into real estate.
Let me know when you're doing. I need to tune in some more to watch.
I don't even. Oh, this one was a beautiful home. I don't even know when I'm gonna do it. I just kind of
just
do it
happens.
sometimes. Yeah.
I'm really
Maybe on the
hoping you have
weekend.
like custom graphics and everything for the lifestyles of the rich and famous with your host Jericho.
Yep.
Like this, this is a. I've never seen this on Twitch before, man. I hope you're taking this the whole. nine
No, I
yards,
would
'cause
go.
this is-
Yeah.
I've been
Yeah.
trying to get Zillow to sponsor my streams.
Dude,
They don't
we'll do
respond to
that.
my tweets.
No, do that, but do an IRL stream of you giving like touring the house with the real estate
Oh
agent.
my god! Wait, fuck yeah! Wait, no, this is genius.
Yeah, like what?
I'm about to
take
start
it full throttle, man.
DMing.
Fucking
Yeah,
tour
I'm
the
just-
U.S. Go to just go to like Alabama and be like, look, I want to look at all your $1 million homes. I'm gonna IRL
Hey,
stream
welcome
them.
to the 1%. We're gonna be
Yes!
here.
It'd be great.
That's beautiful. All right,
Yeah.
Twitch
Louisiana was
cribs.
great. Though.
Twitch.
Well,
Twitch
Twitch
wannabe cribs.
I don't want to come into your guys' homes. Like, what the fuck? I want to.
No, fuck that. Yeah,
hopeful future Jericho cribs.
there you go.
Oh please.
We got to work
Absolutely
on the
not.
branding a little bit, but
Yeah,
Yeah,
damn, this house is
Look at Rock
gorgeous.
Here. No, this house is like a well put together like old timey house. Why would you ever? I wouldn't want
Look
this
at that
kitchen size,
kitchen.
though.
floor plan
Yeah.
though. What the hell?
That's
It's
what
so
I'm saying.
open.
Stained glass. Yeah. Oh, I got mad at the walls here. They had too many textured walls. It was kind of fucking
I
me
agree.
up.
That's too many textures. Yeah.
Is that marble
You know what?
flooring?
It is a marble floor. Look how big that bathroom is.
Holy
look
shit!
at that thing. Are you fucking kidding me? This was Louisiana. Oh no, I'm sorry. This was
Is that
this is
stained
like
glass
Baton Rouge.
windows in the shower?
I think it
That's
was.
that's their closet. They have 3 benches in their closet.
Well, yeah. You gotta
You
lay
know,
your,
when you have
Naturally.
friends over, you're getting
Yeah.
dressed. They need to play shit.
yeah. You gotta lay your
Yeah.
outfits out. Is what you gotta do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
See, it's
Also, the
addicting,
butler
man.
needs to
Hold
put
on. What was
the
that
main-
pool? What?
It was
What is
not.
that?
That's what I said. No, I go. Was that a pool or and me going? Time out. Why is there a fireplace in your garage? It's not a garage. I learned that, but like, come the fuck on.
That's very
What
weird.
is
Like,
It's like
it's
a carport.
it's an outdoor sitting area, but it was definitely a car park that they just put marble floors down, and they were like, "Here we go." Like,
Well, when you're detailing your Ferrari, you like to be warm, and warmth provided by a heating unit is just improper. We
Yeah.
need proper fun.
Yeah.
So we need to put a fireplace and 2
Louisiana.
fans for good measure, so we can blow the heat around.
it's brilliant, and yeah, I looked at a house that had an observatory built into it, like a full on one. I was like,
Really?
I think it was in like Texas or some shit like that, but yeah.
Now I just,
So now you see my
Oh, look at that. Wait, this isn't. This must be like
Louisiana.
beachfront property.
Yeah. This one was like, I was like, this one I was upset they didn't have more photos, but this one was well put together. They have a 2-story elevator in it, and then that staircase is.
I've seen houses like that. That just seems like the stupidest thing. Like, just walk up a fucking single flight of stairs.
Hey Pete, it's for decrepit old cocaine money. Okay,
I guess.
Like I need to wheel in there and then get lifted up. This is not for you and me. I'll use the stairs. No, I won't.
Yeah.
If I had an
okay.
elevator, I'd use the elevator.
All right. And I got to turn because I'll just sit here and we'll just judge these houses for the rest of the show.
I
So
know.
I gotta
We'll co-stream some Zillow later.
yeah, I'd be about it. I'd be about it for sure. I do want to touch on you mentioned Fortnite.
Yeah.
And I want to touch in that you've kind of like what were the I don't want to put words in your mouth. What would you say with Fortnite? You've played too much of it.
The barrier.
You've hit the barrier.
The saturation for content and like the payoff for most people playing in that directory. Basically any non-competitive player, it's gone the way of like League has, where you really do have a top-heavy dominance of pro, semi-pro, and extremely talented people. You still have personality types, but most of the personality types are really talented either anyways. And it's at the point where, you know, this has been the flavor of the month for like 8 months now. So it's just natural. It's still going to be the biggest game. Okay. Bye, JP.
Yeah.
That
was interesting.
Yeah. It's just burnout plus, you know, people getting tired of the same thing. I get more people complaining about me playing Fortnite than have ever said, hey, you should play Fortnite.
So do you think it's reached like I don't know, the breaking point on Twitch? Do you think it's
I think it's a breaking point. It just, I think that you need a solid 6 months of throwing your body behind or your stream content behind your main game before you're going to get a good idea of like how that's going to pick up or if it's not going to pick up at all. I think most people who jumped on the Fortnite bandwagon are hitting that point where they either know this is helping my channel or this is not helping my channel. And for me, it was pretty apparent. Not that I'm, you know, I still like playing Fortnite. I still stream it. I streamed it yesterday. But it's just the desire to stream it solely because it's new, fresh, and it's that hot thing is pretty much gone. So you either play because you love it or you play because it's helping you. There's not really anybody in between there.
Well, there's also a really important distinction between influxes of new viewers and influxes of returning viewers. When Fortnite first got huge, Twitch got washed, especially with the Twitch Prime stuff, with new viewers. And what those new viewers did was they found one to probably a few streams that they wanted to follow. And then once they do that, they don't go back to the directory. They've then got their Fortnite streamers. So, of course, Ninja made out, Dr. Lupo made out, Tim the Tapman made out. These guys got this huge glut of people in that first initial few weeks to few months where, like, they are now watchers of those streams. But now, just like Kiriko said, now that we're 8 months out, that new viewer number, the number of people that are coming to Twitch, not for a specific streamer, but for Fortnite, that number has plummeted. So if you look at the Fortnite directory on off hours and one of those big streamers aren't on that got that big glut of new viewers, the top streamer will have like less than 10,000 people. And then Ninja will get on and all of a sudden the directory will double in terms of how many people are watching it.
Yeah.
That's indicative of a game losing its new viewer hype.
Well, I mean, yes, I agree. I also think that it is pretty apparent when Ninja was, you know, pulling almost 200,000 viewers per stream at the peak of the hype, and you can see his viewers kind of settling out across the people that he played with. Like Tim is just destroying right now, and Tim and Lupo and all those guys that routinely played with Ninja are starting to see those viewers return and spread out. So, I mean, you're right. You're definitely right about the new viewer influx. I didn't really think about that.
Let's watch some riveting Fortnite play.
And the worst part is
this is like
new
warming up
viewer
for the.
influx. Oh, go ahead. Go ahead.
No, I was saying this was for the tournament. The tournaments and everything that they did to incentivize making money or making a living on Fortnite, honestly, I think contributed to the lack of enjoyment for a lot of casual players. Because, you know,
can we talk about those tournaments for a second?
Yeah, sure.
I think it's fucking ridiculous that they're giving people like Ninja $36,000. Why is that not going to fucking charity or something? Like, it's such an absurd thing that these tournaments are for. They only invite the big streamers. They don't invite the actual like best players, and they're calling it their esport. Am I wrong with that?
Yeah. All right. So the basic spread is they have about 15 people that they routinely call back. They're the biggest Fortnite streamers, right? They're always going to get an invite. There's your core group. Then they invite around 25 good, sizable, entertaining streamers. I'm in that group where I'm not the best and by any means, but like, okay, I have an audience.
Yeah.
Then they have up to 50 people who have won competitive tournaments or have proven like had the highest scores in the competitive game modes, etc. Those get invited in. The vast majority of the time, I'd say it's a pretty even 50-50 split between the people that are making the real money in terms of streamers versus, you know, some random guy who can't even stream.
Yeah.
So I mean, I get why they're doing it.
Well, here's from my point of view. Here's what I see those tournaments as. I see those tournaments as sponsored streams where the money that you get for doing the sponsored stream and participating is if you win.
Yeah. That's 100% what it is.
Which is brilliant from Epic Games, but it's just kind of like, don't say that you have 100 million for an esports year when you use it for like what I just said.
They've only used 8 million though, JP.
Yeah. I mean,
this is only 8 of. They have 92 more $1 million to give out.
Yeah, I know, it's crazy.
What are we worried about here?
I'm not worried about the money. It's just like, I was playing World of Warcraft with Tim, and it's like, hey Tim, how'd that tournament go? Like, who ended up winning? He's like, I don't know. I go, what? Where do I go to find out?
Oh, that site is super janky.
And then he was like, I think you can go look at so and so's Twitter. So I go to this person's Twitter account. They have like 8,000 followers, and I think they're a commentator for it or something. And they're the ones that post the people who win. Like, build a fucking website that I can go to.
They have a website.
Where?
How are you stop? It's summerskirmish.com.
Okay, I'm gonna go to this website.
The
and see
name
what
of
it
the
looks
tournament. I was gonna say, like, I
might be completely out of touch with this, and I might be completely
where
bitching
you
for no
been,
reason.
man?
Summerskirmish.com.
Wait, what? This is the LARPing
the military museums. This is a LARPing thing. So Fortnite's gotten weird.
Maybe I'm wrong.
Fortnite's gotten real weird.
Fortnite. This is like a straight up Renaissance fair.
So, you want to try that link one more time here, Jericho?
You're right. No, it is not. There's
old guys firing cannons on this website.
Wait, maybe they fuck Fortnite. Let's just LARP for $8 million.
Yeah.
No, it's you're right. It's not. It's they had like some URL shortener. It's like epicgames.com/fortnite/en-us/summer-skirmish.
Okay.
Really accessible there. No, my thing was that they're just really slow to update that, and there's I don't know. I'm willing to give them a pass on the format because at least they've tried different stuff every month versus just choosing a bad format and sticking with it. So I feel like this is them trying to figure out what's the best way to do real tournaments. But
yeah, I don't. Maybe this is old man JP. I look at this site and I have no idea what. Like, can you translate this to me? Who's winning what money? That's what I want to see. Is who's winning what money?
If you scroll down, it shows like the winners.
Yeah, it shows the standings. But yeah, this site is not my favorite. It's not.
Okay. All right. Yeah. Yep. You're right.
The short answer is though, there's no question that the official Fortnite Twitter should be promoting this. Like, it should be integrated. It doesn't feel integrated. It feels like a sideshow right now. I'm totally with JP on that. You should be able to easily see this stuff if you're not a Fortnite player. And essentially,
here's the reason that I'm complaining about it is because it's $100 million in esports. It's not fucking Joe Bob's weekend esport tournament, right? Like, it's $100
million. You're right, but I feel like you're missing this specific 8-week whatever the thing is them trying to figure out how to run the rest of these, right?
Sure.
So like, it is the most expensive beta test I've ever seen, but that's what they're trying to do is like, what makes it make sense for like when we put the other $92 million into it.
True.
But you're right. They should probably, it's not exactly as streamlined as I'd hope.
Someone probably just nailed it in chat. Loco Cola says 14-year-olds don't give a damn, so neither does Epic. That's probably something in line of that. They just want to see.
Where's the lie?
They just want to see their favorite streamer playing a tournament. They don't give a fuck about how much they win and the results, etc. Right? Like, yeah.
Hey man, I made more money. This month in Fortnite tournaments and PUBG tournaments than I did on YouTube. So I'm gonna quit and become a pro Rivals streamer.
There you go.
I just only play in tournaments.
You started on YouTube, right?
What?
Didn't you start on YouTube before Twitch?
Yeah. I started on YouTube.
That's kind of awesome.
Yeah.
Is that good or bad? What you
I
just
think
said?
I don't know
bad,
if that's
right?
more. I don't know if that's more a reflection on how bad YouTube is,
Yeah.
or how good.
Yeah,
how
I'm not sure now that I'm
generous
thinking about
has
it.
been to me. It's like kind of a little bit of both, you know.
Yeah, fucking man, YouTube.
That's like one of those like congrats, but sucks, but congrats,
Like,
but
thank you.
sucks.
Yeah.
It's kind of cool
whack.
though.
Yeah. Anyways, we could spend a lot of time. I do want to bring on like a Tim or a Lupa or something like that and just talk a lot about Fortnite and maybe even bring on someone from Epic just to talk about
Dude,
all that stuff. But
At this point, I'm like, some of these guys have been playing this game 8 to 12 hours a day,
yeah,
like 8 months.
right. That's
Burnout.
crazy. I can't.
I'm like, I'll be blunt. I am getting to the point where I'm just impressed with Ninja for being able to put on 8 hours of apparently quality content because he's got millions of viewers or millions of followers and everything. Like it's just impressive at this point. I don't. What happens that one day when you get on and you don't really feel it? You just push through that. Like, are you past that point, or are you not to that point yet? Like, I'm very curious how it. Like, oh my lord. Now, granted, money is a very good incentive, but I mean, geez, man.
Ninja came from competitive. He played Halo 2 all day, every day for years. He's only been playing Fortnite for a year. You know what I mean? Like, this is not.
Good point.
This doesn't surprise me. The man has had that kind of work ethic for ages now. So, but I'm the same way. I have no idea how you could do that.
Yeah.
Oh, for someone in chat saying, yeah, Kobe, you played a ton of PUBG. Dude, I played PUBG for 3 months. And I was very open in my last month that there was nothing else to play. And by the time I ended PUBG, I put it down and I have not picked it up since.
Totally. Yeah.
Like, I have not touched PUBG for over a year. Like, I was so done with that game. And that was 3 months. And I'm a relatively tolerant dude.
Yeah.
Ninja's at 8 months. Like, almost 3 times that. That's impressive.
It is. It is for sure. We got about 35 minutes till we bring Ziggy on. So, you've played a lot of games. So here's Graveyard. Let's just go. Graveyard Keeper. I heard the end of Graveyard Keeper pissed a lot of people off. Can we talk about that for 5 seconds? What happened?
Okay.
I guess. Go ahead.
Should we spoiler it? Like,
should we? I don't know.
Okay. You know what? Okay, here's the deal. This is what I'm about to say is going to contain slight spoilers, and I'm very sorry about this. That being said, pause it for a minute or two if you don't want to. 3, 2.
Dumbledore dies.
You son of a bitch. I haven't seen Harry Potter.
No, I kind of believe that
anyway.
coming from Co, but go ahead.
No, I actually haven't, but I know he dies. So anyway, so here's Graveyard Keeper. Graveyard Keeper is a game that's very fun to play. I put 50 hours into it. It was clear from the beginning that the game released into a beta. Even though it is a released game and the devs say it is, like every other day for the first couple weeks, there would be like major features changed or added via the patches. So it just became super clear early that this game was in production. And then, so I'm spending, I get to the point where I'm like 75% through the game. It's just a grind to get to the end. And I said, you know what? I need to figure out what's going to happen. Like, I want to see the end of this game because I think there's like some larger message going on. Maybe there's some kind of like, it was all a dream or you're in a coma. Like, I was curious, like, what direction are they going with this? Because at the very beginning of this game, it shows a person in the real world. He's on his phone. He's talking to his wife that loves him. Everything's going great. And then he walks across a crosswalk and you hear a car screech and then you hear a crash. And then your character pops up in this no man's land with this hooded figure. And the hooded figure's like, you're going to a different world. And if you want to get home to your loved one, you need to learn what this world is. And then blah, blah, blah. And, I'm not going to tell you anything else. Go find this skull and dig it up. And so it's all weird murky at the beginning. There's like a hook. But here's the thing. The end of the game apparently forgot about the beginning of the game. Because the end of the game, I'm going to try to be as spoiler-free as possible. The end of the game basically acts like the entire game was something else. We actually, like, let me put it this way. After I watched the ending, I talked it over with chat a few minutes, and we were so confused that we had to watch the intro again just to make sure we remembered it how we thought it did. So like it clearly says in the intro, like you're working to get home, you need to get back, like all this stuff. And then here comes the big spoiler. At the end of the game, when you set up this portal, which is obviously a thing you walk through to go somewhere, your wife pops up next to you, gives you a hug, the screen fades to black, and then two characters make jokes about how a huge controversial issue, which was the town not missing there, would be a future DLC. And then it shows the credits. So and here's the worst part. The whole like last part of the game, there's spelling mistakes, there's grammar mistakes in the dialogue. Like I was tripping over myself trying to read the dialogue because like words that were plural wouldn't have S's and there wouldn't be like a in front of an object. So it sounded like so basically the entire game leads you to think one thing is going on. And then at the very end of the game, like for no reason, no explanation, it just throws a couple events at you and then ends with a bad joke, essentially.
How long to...
It is one of the most weird, frustrating, meritless, valueless endings I have ever experienced in a video game. And the crazy part is I spent the last 10 hours of the game just doing mundane grinding to get the ending.
Yeah.
So here I was thinking that it was going to explain about purgatory, or maybe our character was in a coma the whole time and the graveyard keeper and management was us overcoming challenges. And then we were going to wake up and our wife was going to be there. Or maybe we were dead and we were going to find out that we were, you know, the whole game was purgatory and that we were going to, you know, all these really interesting things that could have been just threw out the window. And it gave us this weird thing that made no sense and then stopped. Like
well,
it was
how long to get to that point? How many
50 hours?
50 hours?
50 hours. But here's the part that makes this whole experience even more crazy. I had a great time playing it. Like the gameplay, like it's only a $20 game. So like the gameplay and the enjoyment of it, and you know, like I got on multiple days for weeks, like can't wait to stream Graveyard Keeper, and I'd have great streams the whole time with 15,000 people watching. The gameplay itself is pretty cool, but man, they just completely dropped the ball at the ending. It's like they put in a placeholder ending and then told themselves like, hey, we need to go back and actually put the ending in. And then they just forgot.
Wow. Okay. All right. That's so, Graveyard Keeper. 20
probably
bucks
should buy it.
Yeah.
It's very strange. Again, we had to rewatch the intro just because I was so confused. I'm like, is this the same game? Yeah. Like, what is this about summoning our wife to this mythical world that is supposed to not exist? Why would she be okay with this? Why would she give us a hug? We haven't seen. How long have we been dead? Are we dead? Like, what is going on in this game?
So now, here's my follow-up question to that. Is this a game that you play for the story?
No. Okay. That was actually the point I had to say at the end. Like, the ending really, really pissed me off. But the gameplay to the ending was fun. And what's funny is at the end of the stream, before I turned it off for my final Graveyard Keeper stream, I made a plea to the devs. I was like, guys, there's two things you need to do. Please, at least once, read over the text in your game so you can realize that it's terrible and then fix it. That's what you need to do first. And then second, just put in any ending. Like, it doesn't even have to be a good ending. And I said, I'll even give you a couple. You're in purgatory, you're in a coma, like just come up with something, because that's not, there's no sense of closure with the current ending. There's no ending currently. There's just confusion and crying in a corner. So it's going to be real easy to fix this. And these are the guys that made Punch Club. They're smart dudes. They can figure something out, but they need to fix the end. I mean, it's yeah. But I will say this, and I was like, my jaw dropped. And I actually said at the end of this that it felt like a slap to the face. When you play through this game, multiple people talk to you about the town. You know, they talk about places in the town, things going on in the town. There's a guy that you can buy a town pass for. And he says, you can't go to the town unless you have a town pass. You can buy the town pass, talk to this guy, and then as you move down, a lightning bolt instant kills you and you go back to your house. And the guy's like, man, that's weird. So the issue is that there's this raging debate going on that was never supposed to be the case, that the town, they didn't have enough time to develop. And they tried to, because so much of the rest of the game is undeveloped, they like just took the town out at the last minute and put in these weird mechanics to go around it. Now the devs very like replied to one of these big Reddit threads and said, no, guys, the town was never supposed to exist. It was all a joke from the beginning. You know, like lol, you guys got tricked. The town was never supposed to exist. But then at the very end of the game, the last thing you see after the ending is two of the characters talking to each other about how the town doesn't exist and about how they're going to add it later as DLC. And it's just kind of like,
okay, all right. That's a game. That's Graveyard Keeper.
like that is. I don't use this word often, but I seriously watched that was just like, yikes.
Yeah.
Like this is a little too much fourth wall. Like this is not.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's Graveyard Keeper.
Yeah. What's up, Jericho?
Great sermon. Thanks.
I just got a DM from Richard La Ruina, like literally just now. Do you know who that is?
No.
The self-proclaimed pickup artist and the guy who made Super Seducer.
Okay.
He just gave me his key for Super Seducer 2, which is now apparently done.
Nice.
So if anybody cares about going through another atrocious 8 hours of that,
Yeah.
like I will, I think you can now do that again.
There you
Last
go.
time I played it, he literally we got on Skype and we talked. It was the weirdest experience I've ever had.
That sounds real weird. That sounds like a real weird thing. Look forward to that, I guess, for Jericho in the future. What I'm trying to scan here. Co2 Point Hospital. Should we talk about it? It's awesome.
It's freaking awesome. It is the there's a studio called 2 Point Studios. It actually has developers from Bullfrog back in the day. For those that know about Bullfrog, 2 Point Hospital is basically Theme Hospital 20 years later, and it's everything you could want from that.
Okay.
Better UI, better graphics, easier to use. Like it is awesome. I played it 4 hours so far, and as an avid fan of Theme Hospital back in the day, I seriously felt like I was like playing Theme Hospital 2. That was made for this day and age. It's freaking great. I'm playing this game again on Friday morning, and I can't wait.
Is the humor still good? Like everything's still
The humor is so good. Not only are all the maladies and stuff hilarious, of course, just like always, but now they have their own radio with different DJs and custom music, and like some of the DJs are just cracking like that dry British humor the whole time. It was good. It's really, really good. It's also, I like to say, or I like to think, a lot deeper than Theme Hospital really ever got. Like there's a lot more screens you can go into. You can really bury into the finances. It's a little bit more structured. It's actually, there's some elements of the Jurassic Park game that recently came out where you like have a hospital and you get stars at it, and that moves you to the next hospital, then you get stars at that. Like in a good way. It's kind of a progression system.
Yeah,
so
I was
it kind of
worried
leads
when he said that.
Yeah, I should have made that a little bit clearer. But yeah, it was really, I was really worried because I was a big theme park fan. So I was a little concerned when I played this. I was like, is this going to be like a ripoff? But dude, you can tell that the original devs worked on this game. Like the soul of Theme Hospital is in this game. And by the way, I keep mixing up Theme Park and Theme Hospital. Sorry about that. I mean Theme Hospital, but yeah, it feels good. It plays well. Very few bugs. Greatly optimized, and just a good time.
Nice. Jericho, I think you would like
cool.
this game.
Yeah, I just wrote it down. It looks good.
Yeah. I feel like this game has enough wackiness that you'd enjoy it. It'd be fun.
Put it on the list.
Put on the list. As we continue through Co's game list, somehow, some way, Yakuza's made itself again onto this fucking podcast. What? And of course, this is exactly what I click on here.
Don't look at the first stream, damn it.
Well,
okay,
it's happening.
Okay,
you look beautiful.
So
yeah, you look great.
Thanks, sweetie. So I played. I'm currently playing Yakuza Kiwami 2. The very cool thing about Yakuza Kiwami 2 is it uses the new engine. So this actually uses the engine that Yakuza 6 uses. And the last game I played was Yakuza Kiwami 1, which used the old new engine from Zero. And I got to say this, man, Kiwami 2 is amazing. like from the graphics to the new combat system to the world development to the characters to the voice acting. Like it is 11 of 10 so far. I've been absolutely loving it, and I really have like nothing else to say. It's more Yakuza. It's fantastic. I'll have a lot more to say about this game after I beat it, because the main story in this one, and it is going all over the map. There's so many people involved that we're like just meeting now in the Yakuza universe in the story at this point, that I'm still trying to wrap my head around what's going on, in a good way. But it's a big game, and the combat has never felt better. Like everything is so fluid now. They removed all the fighting styles. So in Yakuza 0 and 1, you'd have like Dragon and Rush and Brute, and there'd all be all these fighting styles. They've completely reworked the skill system. There's now like you eat for experience, and you gain experience in other ways. And there's like this one big multi-page skill system that you work through. And oh man, it's just great. I'm absolutely loving it so far.
Did you just pick up a bike?
You can pick up pretty much anything and use it. Like there's also a huge amount of weapons. They added like what you're seeing right now. If you notice, I just beat that guy and it broke the window. I could then drag one of them into that store and use things in that store to get them. A great example was my buddy Bikeman was fighting outside of a convenience store. He throws a dude through the front window. Then the dude is on the ground in the convenience store. He then walks in, picks him up by the back of the head, walks over towards the microwave, hits heat action. He then opens the microwave, puts his head in the convenience store microwave, which the dude just got thrown into the area, closes it, and then microwaves the dude's head. Things like that are all over the place. The whole world feels
He'll
more
walk it off.
Oh, not dead, by the way.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's awesome, dude. It's been great so far. And what's really cool is a lot of these games, a lot of the Yakuza games have like a bunch of mini games. They're all over the place. Darts, bowling, golf, tons of high quality mini games. But then they usually have a couple big mini games. And these are games that they've spent like a lot of time developing and are meant to be played for like 5+ hours. The real estate mini game, pocket racing, stuff like that. And in this one, not only did they bring back Cabaret from Yakuza 0, but there is a mini game I haven't found yet where it's apparently this RTS style battle system where you control squads of people and you have to like move them around to like it's like almost like a combination from what I've seen. I haven't played it yet, of like LOL, an RTS, and capture and hold. And keep in mind, there's a huge amount of mechanics which you can then like upgrade your little teams and do all sorts of stuff. It's like a game within a game. And I just got to Cabaret in this one. Of course, it's great. And man, I can't wait to get to the next one. Oh, there's also toilets in this one. That's TOY.
Dude, I don't know if you knew this, but shitting in games right now is all the rage. It's really
come on, let's not be nasty, JP. We're talking about peeing. So essentially what you do is you urinate, and it's a game, and you have to like blow the dress off a woman to see her underwear, or you're shooting milk out of your nose, you have to balance a stream with the guy next to you. And apparently this is a real thing in Japan.
Okay.
So all I know is
what does that even mean? It's a real thing everywhere. I mean, like, I don't think that's like a Friday activity that just is a thing.
Oh no, Japan apparently it's a thing. Like you go into public restrooms and there's video games atop of the urinals and you can play with the people around you.
I thought you were talking about. Never mind. You're talking about balancing like milk coming out of your nose stream with constrained or next. No, it's like
that's just like as you're peeing, as what you do is with the triggers you adjust the strength of your stream. And what you do is as you're adjusting the strength of your urine, you have to like the little picture is two guys with milk coming out of their nose, and you have to balance your stream with the milk to make sure it's not too much one way. So
I see.
Got it.
And then the second little game is while you're peeing, you're like a gust of air, and there's a girl walking by, so you have to blow the dress off the girl with the strength of your urine. God, that sounds terrible when I say it out loud.
I can't get a hard
but anyway.
pee.
And that's Yakuza. Yeah.
Yep. Let's never mention that game again.
Okay.
Jericho, we brought on a lot of people whenever we talk about Yakuza, and then they always go and play it afterwards and then become converts. Any interest for you in playing the Yakuza series?
Not before I heard about the P games. Honestly, no. It looks pretty fun. Maybe at some point if I'm strapped for games, I'll hop on. You said this just came out, or it is coming out, or there is.
Now this just came out like yesterday. Technically, this is Yakuza Kiwami 2. If you wanted to start with the Yakuza series, you'd want to start with 0, then Kiwami 1, than this one. And
Do I
actually,
have
what's
to?
pretty cool, you don't have to, but I would
I'm not
heavily
going
recommend
to.
it. The only thing is though, and well, they all have like tons of fun mini games and stuff. Like this is definitely not the first
Okay.
one that. The only thing is
Gotcha.
though, it is important to mention that Yakuza games are very story heavy, and there are in some cases 30 minutes to 2 hours worth of dialogue scenes.
Oh, I thought you meant like in one group. I was like, what the fuck am I gonna do for
Oh,
40 minutes?
That's what yeah. They're very
exactly
story focused, yeah.
Oh, it's like a movie. Maybe,
In some
maybe
cases,
not.
it is. Yeah, it is. But the
That's
thing
cool,
is
though.
it's really important to mention though. It's really good. It's all voice acted by like Japanese like stars. Like the dialogue is top notch. The stories are top notch. Like twists and turns and drama and funny and laugh and cry. Like they're really really good stories. So it almost is like watching a movie sometimes.
Maybe I'll give it a maybe I'll watch somebody's walkthrough of the first one and see if it's down my alleyway.
There you go.
Good call. I will say this: one of the best cinematics I've seen in any game, period, was in Yakuza Zero. Like top 3 cinematics in a game of any game all time, kind of thing. And if you played Zero, you probably know what I'm talking about.
I haven't played it either, Jericho. Don't feel bad.
Yeah, I felt a little bad. I'm not gonna.
Yeah,
Kind of niche game. Don't feel bad about that. Like it's not. Yeah, they're not hugely popular, especially here in the U.S. They're not.
Yeah.
Not big.
Yeah. I'm curious just for my own sake. You finished Death's Gambit? You're done with it?
I did.
How's that?
Completely done. It was a lot of fun. I had a good time with it. I had a few issues with the ending, just like lore wise and stuff. But overall, it was a great game. I could definitely see playing it again down the road. Very fun 2D Dark Souls experience. And yeah, if you are a Salt and Sanctuary player or like any even slightly interested in a 2D Dark Souls, you'll probably really enjoy this game.
Are you dual wielding here? Is that what I'm seeing with the Maraca?
No,
axis?
I have a special aura on that makes me super, super fast. So you kind of see a little.
Oh, okay. That's
second
what
version.
it is.
Oh, I see it. Yeah.
Okay, gotcha. Yeah, I didn't want to spend too much time on this because we talked about it last week. If you want to catch up about Death's Gambit. And then apart from that, Co, is there anything else you've been checking out the past 2 weeks? We kind of covered, I think, everything.
That was a lot. Yeah, for me, I usually stick to like 1 or 2 games per show. So yeah, that's pretty much it.
Yeah. Okay. As for me, it's same as last week. I think I did the math last night when I logged off of WoW. I think I've put 127 hours into it since it came out. Which,
JP,
which is a lot.
my friend, we got to talk about this. Why do you do this to yourself?
I kind of feel like I'm reaching the point where it's like I don't want to log in every single day. Like I might not log in today and do World Quest. We'll see. That's a lot of time that I've put into
Might
that
not
game.
do meth today. I think I might pass. I'll do it tomorrow though.
Well, here's the thing, and I was talking about this yesterday. It's been crazy going from Monster Hunter to World of Warcraft and then Friday to Path of Exile, right? Because those are like 3 unbelievably grindy games just back to back to back. But I guess I'm gonna do it. Like I guess that's what I'm gonna do. So.
Oh yeah, man. Dude, Delve is shaping up to be awesome though. So.
Yeah, we're gonna talk about it. We'll bring Ziggy on here in about probably once we wrap this up. But yeah, in terms of WoW, like it's the same thing as I said last week. I don't have anything new to report. If you know what World of Warcraft is, then I don't need to tell you about the expansion because it's pretty much the same.
By the way, super quick before we move on, I actually forgot one game.
Oh.
I did end up finishing finally after 45 plus hours all of We Happy Few.
Oh yeah.
What was your rating on that?
It is a diamond in the rough, man. Like there's some really really good stuff in that game. The story was great. All 3 of the stories I ended up liking. Like as the last one was super thought provoking and interesting. But there are, like I've said the last time we talked about, there's so many bugs. There's so many little issues. Like if you're the kind of person that gets frustrated or unimmersed by bugs, like almost everywhere you can look, it'll kind of kill it for you. But if you're the kind of person that can push that stuff aside and kind of just focus on the good parts, there is a really solid story in there. Like almost BioShock levels of just like societal commentary and like really interesting, what does it mean to be medicated? How is it if you're happy and you're taking drugs, are you actually happy? Like, what are you actually feeling when you do this stuff? Is it okay to do that stuff? Like, there's some really interesting things that it brings up, but it's just so clouded with all the issues and bugs. I really hope that the dev team keeps working on it because they have a classic on their hands in about 6 more months of development. They really need to clean it up a little bit. But
This-
man, I hope it's worth it.
All right, because I'm surprised a lot. Most of the people that I talked to said that they, like gave it like a 5 or a 6 out of 10. Said that bugs, etc. And this was a game from like a couple years ago, like 4 years ago, when they announced it initially at E3. I was really excited for, and then I played that little like pseudo demo thing that was just made me, man. I was so upset because it was just not a well put together anything. So it makes me sad to hear that they didn't iron out any of the problems or did not fix a lot of problems or created more problems. So maybe I'll play it later down the line then. But
Well,
that game,
and what's even crazier, Jericho, is if you played it when it came out, what you played is not actually what ended up being developed. Because when they
really?
released that early access thing, the intention was that it was going to be a game that you would play 15 to 20 times, and
Right.
each playthrough would be an hour to 3 hours, and you would be
Yeah.
uncovering things as you go on. But during the
Right.
course of development, they got so much feedback that they actually changed it, and now it is a 3-act single playthrough story that is like it's much more like a traditional adventure game. But the issue is that they still kept in some of that stuff from the other game mode. And
Gotcha.
honestly, that more confuses things than makes it work. So now it's like this in this weird middle area. I mean, it's a single player game that procedurally generates the maps. So it's kind of like, and here's what's even crazier. It procedurally generates the same maps with different characters in the same playthrough. So like, and that made it really confusing because it's like, are they just drugged out of their mind and don't remember? But like literally, I finished playing the first character with 30 hours, and when I started the second character, all the places I had just been to in the exact same area in the world were completely different and procedurally regenerated.
Ooh,
So
that's
That's a little weird.
it adds in this weirdness, and so like I can kind of see if you were to go down the line of, well, everyone's on drugs and everyone sees things differently, that kind of works. But since they never really explain that to the player, a lot of people were very confused, understandably.
Yeah.
So there's some weirdness with it, but again, if you can get down to it, very, very cool story and narrative, and the 3 different character aspect was actually pretty awesome. That's it.
Maybe
All
I'll
done with
check
We
it
Happy
out.
Few.
Yeah.
Either of you play Scum?
Not yet.
No, I watch people play it.
Okay. I don't know if we want to talk about it if we haven't played it then. That game looks fucking weird. I'll just say that. That just looks like an odd thing that
Yeah.
exists. Yeah, it looks like DayZ, but amplified in terms of the survival factor. Yeah.
And
With
and
deathmatch.
really, really buggy.
Yeah. Yeah.
Now, for anyone interested, I would check out twitter.com/sacro42 because he actually he's been playing this game a lot.
Yeah.
And yesterday I dropped in his channel and I asked him like, hey man, can you give me like the skinny on this game? And he actually made it a highlight where for like 3 minutes, he basically lays out everything about Scum right now. And it's doing some really cool things, but unfortunately, some of the foundational pillars are still not working properly. Like for instance, when I talked to him yesterday, servers are apparently going down like every 10 minutes or so. And here's what's even crazier. As he said, like you can be running around for 5 minutes and not even realize the server is down until you try to interact with something or pick something up. And he said that was super annoying. And then he also said a big problem is the net code is apparently still having issues. And of course, when you're talking about a shooting game, that's like one of the biggest things that can be an issue.
Yeah.
So but for anyone interested in Scum, definitely check him out. I think he's planning on maining that game for at least the next while. So it'd be a good place to check out for that.
So I assume with him playing as much as he is, he still likes it regardless of that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
He did some really good things to say about it. And if you watch him for a little bit, there are times when it looks like and actually even feels like the DayZ we all wanted. Like the beautiful, runs well, environments look great, zombies actually move properly, gunplay is solid. Like there's times when you're watching it for a 10-minute chunk and you're just like, this looks like DayZ 2, essentially. But yeah, apparently it still has some work. It also has a crazy amount of survival mechanics. Like I don't know if you guys have seen that
Yeah,
window.
there's a lot of
shit, man.
lot of things to monitor.
I don't manage my body that well in real life.
Yeah.
Let alone in a damn game. Like, my lord.
Yeah. It looks a little crazy. It looks a little crazy. Apparently, are either of you big Spelunky fans?
Whoa,
really?
from like years ago?
Yeah, Spelunky 2's trailer came out right before the show.
Oh.
I'll
I
risk
did not even.
I'll
Oh,
risk the claim. Here's some gameplay of Spelunky 2 real quick.
Wait, is this the original or 2?
This is 2.
two. Hey,
Apparently this will be playable at PAX this weekend, I think is what I read. Oh god. Yep, that's Spelunky. I like that that's this is like a 2-minute long trailer.
Oh, damn.
Bashi
Look at this.
Light.
Huh.
Man, it
You know,
looks
looks
very
pretty good.
similar to the first one.
Yeah, I think that's what fans of Spelunky want though.
Yeah, probably. Mhm.
It's
Play with
just more
friends.
Spelunky.
Yeah.
Yeah, cool. I want to show the whole video.
Yeah.
You can go watch the gameplay trailer. I think it's
Oh, they have online though.
Yeah, it's on PlayStation's YouTube, so this will probably get the VOD claimed. Trying to think, anything else before we bring Ziggy on game-wise? Not really, next week's going to be absurd. The next couple of months are going to be absurd in terms of games coming out. Co, are you going to check out Dragon Quest, by the way? Do you have any interest in playing that? I'm kind of in this boat where I want to, but it's like it's a 80-hour, 50-hour game, so I don't think
I've
going
got
to.
so many other games on my plate, man. Like I just don't know. I mean, between Kiwami 2, Delve, God forbid I get sucked into Delve.
Yeah, I'm
by
right there with you.
September.
Yeah.
And then 2 Point Hospital, still working on that. Dude, I'm still catching up in Monster Hunter. I'm still playing Warframe. Like shit, man. There's
got
only
your own
so much time in a
addictions.
day, especially when you have a kid.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A bunch of people are asking us to talk about TI8. Did you guys watch International and all? I watched the entire final day on Sunday, and it was more Dota. It was the International the Dota tournament. The finals were fantastic. They were great, but I don't necessarily think this is the I don't think this is the best platform for it. But you should definitely watch the International every year if you enjoy. I haven't watched like esports in a very, very long time. And so we actually had Sir Scoots here at the house for some roleplay studio crap. And we were watching that at night. And I would just point out things. He's like, you haven't watched esports in a very long time, right? I was like, no. He's like, that's been in there for years. Like handing out the wrist guards that change colors in the audience so it looks like the flashing lights. Like that's fucking brilliant. But that's been there for a long time, apparently.
Yeah, they're just kind of slowly adopting all the stuff that they did for like any of those interactive crowd performance things.
Yeah, it was cool.
Yeah, Xbox did that like 4 years ago.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. I guess I didn't think about that. They did that with they had like the ponchos, right? Is that what you're bringing up?
Yeah.
The E3 ponchos?
Yeah, and they had those little like squares.
That's right. I forgot about that. Anyways, we're going to take a quick break, get Ziggy on the show. Got to swap up the graphics and whatnot, so the break will probably be a little bit longer. And then we'll talk about PoE Delve since he's kind of got a lot of I think he's either met with the devs or something like he knows a lot about Delve. So we're going to bring him on and talk all about it for the next hour or so. So quick break, and then we'll be back.
I got to make sure that the build I want to play is still viable. So looking forward to talking to you.
Oh, I got to talk to you about we're going to have a conversation. I'm going to have an intervention with Co and how he chooses builds right after this. As we bring on Ziggy and talk some about Path of Exile. We'll see you in just a bit.